Yeah, my name's Simon Fox. I'm a senior lecturer in molecular pathology in the School of Biomedical and Healthcare Sciences, and I teach pretty much all the programs in our school. And we have both undergraduate and masters and PhD students within the school. And roughly speaking, we have about 8 different programs, and I teach on various elements relating to it. It First of all, I was very surprised and a bit shocked that I was actually nominated, to be frank with you. But having got over that, it was flattering. It's always nice to be appreciated by the students, and for them to actually recognise that at times you do things that help them develop. So it was good, yeah. It is a job that everyone has to do within our school. All the academics are research active or scholarly active, and it's just part of their normal practice. Um, Most members of staff within the school will have, depending on which particular year you're looking at, between 5 to 12 undergraduate project students, and then maybe 1 or 2 master students and also PhD students. It's just part of normal practice, to be frank with you, within our school. For most students, it's probably the most daunting thing that they do before they undertake it as part of their degree. So it's reassuring them that what they've learnt over the previous 2 years in terms of the lab skills, the scientific process, data analysis and communication is all in place. And it's just about reassuring them that all they're going to do over the next sort of 12 months or so is put that into practice. And by the end of that, it's typically the thing that they find most enjoyable and memorable about their experience at Plymouth. So it's all about, you are okay, it's going to be fine. It must be said that for most projects, you know where the problems are going to arise. A project has to be challenging for a student. There's no point a student doing something that isn't developing and helping them. So as part of that, you know typically where they are going to have pinch points and where the issues are going to be. So it's a case of being proactive more than anything else, and knowing and having a backup for the students to take to use. So certainly where I run sort of cell culture based projects, I keep the lines going along behind the students as well. So when they get an infection, or if they get an infection, it's just a case of providing the students with that. So it's about planning ahead more than anything else. It doesn't necessarily require more time, it just requires a little bit of thought, to be frank with you. First and foremost, I think, is patience. The students are still developing at that stage, and I think for a lot of new academics who haven't had much interaction with undergraduates, they're a little bit uncertain of what level their skills are going to be at. So these aren't fully formed scientists at that stage. They are still developing. That's why they're doing their degree. That's why they're undertaking the project. So you have to have a realisation that that student isn't necessarily going to produce really good, clean data, and they're going to need quite a large amount of support within the laboratory. So patience is very important. It's also having a clear idea of what the student should be expected to do, and what technical staff should be expected to do, and what you as an individual should be expected to do in terms of support for them. And as long as all those roles are clear, then most people are fairly successful. Um, I was quite lucky in when I first started running undergraduate projects 15 or 20 years ago nearly now. I only had 1 or 2. So it was quite easy to manage. You had a very good relationship with those students. I wasn't a lecturer at the time, I was a research assistant. So it was actually something that I wanted to get involved with and enhance my practice. So yeah, I've never really found it to be particularly difficult, to be frank. It's just developed naturally. I think having an understanding that this sort of should be a partnership and it's a two-way experience, because in many cases the students are generating data that you can then use in your research line, and the students can go onto the publications, etc. So you're actually getting something from it in being able to answer the hypotheses or the aims that your lab is researching at that time. And as part of that, the student is getting something back. They may get a publication, they may not, you can't guarantee that one way or the other, but they're certainly learning about what it's like to work on a day-to-day basis within a lab where things do go wrong, and you do have to be adaptable, and you do have to be able to interact with other people and other researchers to get the most out of your time and at that site, at that period. So not seeing the student as a burden, which I know some staff do at times, which is wrong, seeing them as a partner, that's the best approach that you should have, and you'll learn something from them and they'll learn something from you.